All right, we're going to do a dish from Miami called Miami Cubano pork. We're going to pan fry some nice pork cutlets. This is a dish that, again, like stuff I've done from New Orleans, is from a port city. So you see a real infusion of different cuisines
coming together.
Cuban cuisine is a combination of Spanish and Caribbean.
Yeah.
Because you see beans and plantains and rice, and also a lot of pork dishes. They use that in a variety of ways. So this dish today,
you got some garlic going.
Yes, we're going to make a garlic butter, which is going to go on the pork after it's fried and when it goes in the oven.
That should be just right.
Yeah.
So how do we get started here? What should we do?
Okay, so first thing we want to do, we get our oil nice and hot.
You got your oil going, okay?
Yeah.
And then show the meat. I mean, the pork is like a thin sliced,
well, actually,
and sort of
this is
tenderized.
a half-inch cut of boneless pork loin, which I pounded tremendously to make it paper thin.
That's beautiful.
It'll fry quickly in the oil, and
then you just dust this with a little in a little flour.
When I was a young boy working in the kitchen with my grandmother, who was a chef, she would give me a job like pounding out chicken or pork if I had been bad, because she said you have to do something to work out your your problems. So.
This looks great. Now there's looks like a little cornmeal in here, maybe.
This we have flour, some little cornmeal, a little thyme, basil, salt.
Wow, beautiful, beautiful.
You can slide
that. It's okay to put it in. I'll just go
yeah.
nice and easy with it, right?
Yeah.
There it goes. Okay. It's a Cuban-influenced Miami kind of.
Yes.
Right?
And down in Florida, especially in recent years, we've seen a tremendous.
Do I dare try here? Can we fit it?
Yeah, we can fit it. There we go.
There you go. Down in Florida, there's a tremendous influence from the Cuban culture.
Yes, you have it in the arts and music, food, and I find most combinations of cultures start with food anyway.
That's so true, right?
That's something you do every day. You eat. So.
That's right.
And they have a great Cuban sandwich, which is roast pork, ham, Swiss cheese with mustard and pickles. They serve on the street.
Yeah, that's
in
wonderful.
recent years, they've been serving this one on the street. Where they have a deep fryer and they fry the pork.
Right there. Because this pork's not cooked yet, right? It's it's on the process of being cooked.
Yes,
now, what are we going to do here? We're making like a sauce?
Okay, we're going to do a sauce. And one of the highlights of the fusion between Cuban and Floridian cuisine, usually do a warm dish and put a chilled sauce
on it, really? Yeah, that sounds
great. So we're going to
great.
make a tarragon sour cream sauce. So you want to add 2 cups of the sour cream.
So sour cream is our start here.
Yeah.
And, sour cream is a very good friend of mine. I love sour cream.
Well, let me just mention, too, that we want to probably fry the pork about 3 minutes per side.
Per side, yeah.
And then we're going to put it in the oven.
And then it kind of finishes off in the oven?
Yeah.
Okay, look at it. It came right up fast, though.
Yeah.
Now, what else with the sour cream?
Okay, sour cream. Then we're going to add probably a tablespoon of the red vinegar.
Now, this was that red vinegar that you mentioned before. You make yourself. So just a tablespoon, right?
Yeah, about a tablespoon.
So a little bit. That's it.
If you go too far, we'll work it out.
Okay, I understand. Because there's no mistakes in cooking,
Okay,
right?
now we want to put 2 tablespoons of tarragon, but when you add that,
beautiful.
You want to rub it between your fingers to release the aroma and the.
And this is just wonderful, boy. It's just terrific.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderul.
It's very leafy, and it's not the fresh tarragon, which you'd have to use a bit more, but the dried. Try to buy spices that have the cellar has a good reputation for nice quality.
Sure. Then what else am I going to put here? I'm going to put my tomatoes.
Okay, you want to do probably a half teaspoon of salt.
Okay. I'll just eyeball that if you don't mind.
There we go.
There you go.
Yeah. And we want to put probably a tablespoon of scallions.
Scallions are wonderful. All right, there we go.
All right.
And then
you can also put about a teaspoon of tomato in there.
Okay, and these are chopped kind of plum tomatoes, they look, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, now you want to whisk
it up. Okay. I'm a lefty.
A lefty?
Yeah, I'm a lefty whisker. I don't know if that would get me fired in your restaurant, but...
That's good technique.
Right? Not bad. You got to do what you got to do.
All right, we're just going to add it. I'll add it while you whisk. Just a touch more vinegar. You want it just a little
bit looser?
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh, yeah, and I can hear the noise. It sounds great. Now, when you're home, you're in the restaurant business. What do you do when you're home? What do you cook when you're home? Is it simple or?
Well, usually I ask my wife to cook.
Oh, really? Yeah, take a break?
No, but I do. No, I like simple. dishes. I might not make stuff quite as involved as I do at the restaurant.
Sure.
But I learned when my daughter was growing up, every Wednesday I had to make Kraft macaroni and cheese. So.
Wow, really? Isn't that amazing?
I say you got a chef for a father. I'm making macaroni.
And you're making macaroni and cheese, but that's what the kids love. But actually, she's better now, right? She eats all this crazy stuff, right?
She's developed her palate. She really likes a variety. I think it's partly from working at the restaurant with her.
I think you're right. That's true. And interested in culinary arts through her involvement at in school and all of that, right?
St.
That's
John's.
wonderful.
I think, too, cooking is one of those things like playing music or sports that a young person can really find themselves, find a way to express themselves.
Yeah, very true. I agree. No, I agree. Now, this has come a long way in a short time here, huh?
We're going to put that on our oven-proof platter. Most people at home would be using a Pyrex or something.
Sure.
This is what we call a sizzler in the restaurant business. Okay. So we have our pork like that.
And that would just get popped into an oven, right?
Yeah, a 350 oven for about 10
Oh, and a little garlic butter on top of that, huh?
So you're going to let this finish roasting in the oven.
And I noticed you weren't really overly concerned with the heat on that or anything. That was fine, right?
No, that was fine.
Yeah, we did okay.
Basically, what the flour, when you're frying something like that in a hot oil too, it seals the juices in.
Yeah.
So when you cut into the steak or the meat or chicken, you're going to see a nice flood of juice come out.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's fantastic. And we'll pop that in the oven. Actually, I could pop it into the oven for you if you want. While we get things ready to serve here, I'll bring that over. Tell us a little bit about why do you think it's important for families to get together and to have the meal together, because you're a busy guy and nobody can blame you if you didn't.
Well, I think part of the recipe for that is to really, when you spend quality time together, you discuss what might seem to some people like the mundane events of the day.
Sure,
I did this. But in a way, you're becoming closer to each other.
Yeah.
Just as you share and break the bread on your plate together. And also, what's great about a family meal, you can say, oh, you chop the tomatoes, and you're all doing this together.
And it keeps people close together.
When you sit down at the end of making the meal and you eat it together, there's sort of a full circle of a communion of feelings.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And the other thing, too, I think, and particularly in your life, and I don't say this to embarrass you, but I think something that you instill, not just in, your family, but just through your restaurant, too, a sense of needing to reach out and to always care for somebody else.
Yes.
And I guess food kind of naturally does that, right? Like some of the charities that you've been involved with?
Oh, yeah. We've done a number of functions where we've cooked for the homeless.
Yeah, right.
We do a Christmas dinner for the homeless every year. But we do that out of the spirit of celebrating that holiday the way Christ did, I think. The celebration of Him would be doing something like that.
It's so true. It's sort of like an imitation of Christ from the table, right?
Yeah.
And
it's a great way to feel you've done something for someone rather than just writing a check. You made some food. You made a nice time for them.
Yeah, like action sometimes is a beautiful thing.
Yeah. I think you can't do it all the time, but I think it brings you to the point where you feel involved.
And when you can, you do, right?
Yeah.
Now, let's make believe that we had this going, so if you could just show the finished dish, like how we finished this off. Now, I made this sauce, which doesn't nearly look as nice as yours, to be totally honest with you.
Actually, let me show you what I do with this sauce. I put it in a squeeze bottle.
Oh, look at that. That's great.
So...
And then you just kind of
squeeze it on, make funny designs, write your name.
Big smiley face on my pork. That's what I like.
But to get my daughter, I used to make a smiley face on the food with the.
And then the rice, briefly, is just a.
Okay, this is you can actually leave a little oil in the pan after doing the pork, and you should have some baked rice. You put some onions in there, a little basil. Some more garlic, lots of garlic.
Yeah, sure.
Saute that down, and you put the baked rice, and just let it cook down till it's a nice
looks wonderful
brown color there.
Man, well, I don't know how much longer I can wait for this food, but before we head over to the table and dig in, we're going to take a short break. So stay put, because I'll be eating, and we'll be back with more Real